It's another edition of Checking In with Hein and Johnny, where the hosts bring in mystery topics that neither host knows anything about until the mics go hot and on the air. We are the show that keeps the host from talking about the weather and World War II 24 hours a day. Hey, Heine, man, what's on your mind?
Boy, it's just the standard test pattern today, Johnny.
There's nothing on the mind. It's just the old Indian beep, the colors.
Did you
Nice.
watch kids like that? Did you watch TV? Did you ever stay up and watch the test pattern?
Oh yeah, in Salt Lake they had the Star Spangled Banner, and then they did a little thing. This is the end of broadcasting day. That's for old folks because there is no end to broadcasting day anymore.
No, there is not. The 24-hour news.
Long gone.
Rocking and rolling.
Even the news goes all night.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the youth of Henry. John Mulaney, he's a famous comedian that went to rehab because he couldn't get off meth and cocaine. He said when he was young, he knew he was going to be famous. He said he constantly interviewed himself. Did you ever interview yourself like you were Johnny Carson's guest, but you were also Johnny Carson?
Well, Johnny, for me, it's a little different. And you may have noticed this from doing the podcast that I took the role of David Brenner.
Nice.
Where once Johnny pushed the play button, it just couldn't stop.
It's just on. Just on.
Did you ever? The Johnny Carson show, you'd watch, it's like, oh no, it's David Brenner again.
Well, I loved David Brenner. Yeah, I thought it was so funny. So I'm a nerd though. I had Bob Newhart comedy albums, and David Brenner albums. I mean, I went to the library and I walked down Neff's that little street along O.C. Tanner's area, and went to the library by myself. I was quite a library nerd. It's the first time I ever saw Hot Buttered Soul albums. So I loved it.
No, I was hanging out. I don't know that I ever interviewed myself and pretend like if I was on the Johnny Carson show. You? How about
once I read the article, I realized I think I did. Yeah, and particularly once I got a little, out of adolescence, I think I did when I was a little bit older. So I don't know why. I for sure thought we were going to be famous rock stars with our fantastic music abilities. We were so good, I figured we would go on to fame and fortune. We did not, like most people that have a basement band. No one wanted to hear. I let my brother Dave listen to the songs, and he's like, thank you for letting me hear those. That was an experience. If you ever hear, that was an experience when you share your art with someone, that was a tactful way of saying P.U.
I was not sharing that with anyone.
Yeah, that was, some of those were not worthy of public consumption. Particularly now that I'm a little older, the lyrics are problematic. Very problematic.
It was an absolute laugh riot doing it.
Oh my gosh, the best. Yeah, we would cancel everything and drag everything to somebody's house or apartment, wherever it was. Yeah, we had a blast.
This is the whole movie Amadeus thing, where the other guy who's his has Amadeus as his protege and realizes that this guy's just so much more talented than he is.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly slapped around like that.
You get into the presence of someone that's so good that it shocks you into reality.
I think that it is, well, I don't know. I have no clue about what happens. I mean, a famous person, some of it's luck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And,
They most of
being in the
they
right
mostly
place
say
at the
that.
right time. And,
Yeah.
but they're also, I think you have to be doing what you're doing for the love of doing it. And if you're focused on the end result, it's just not going to happen as much. You better love the process of what you're doing. And, I think a lot of people have. I know people who buy and build cars, and it's like, don't you want to drive this thing when you're done? And they're like, no, as soon as the minute I'm done with it, I sell it because the fun is out of it.
It's doing it. That's so fun.
It's scrubbing the rust and grease off all those parts. That is the fun.
The fun of it. Yeah, figuring it out. A friend of mine said when they get together at Thanksgiving, one of their brothers and them will come with a problem to figure out, and they'll actually take those couple of days to discuss the problem. So like they'll be discussing an engine and the problem to improve it. I thought, man alive, that's a smart set of brothers doing engineering, solving, carburetor intake, Venturi effect on the holiday. That's not what happens in my family.
Yeah, but I'll bet they're really tight. It's if you have that, the shared experience of doing whatever it is you're doing. That's who your friends wind up being, or the people who you go through some kind of an experience with. Rather than just pairing up at odd times.
Speaking of pairing up at odd times, was there some violent death that I've blocked out of my memory that happened in Herr Patton's German class that paired us up at just the right time? Maybe I've blocked it out. Maybe I have amnesia about it.
Oh yeah, it was the violent death of all respect we had for our elders.
That poor Herr Patton. I'm driving to work at Castleton's, and I'm getting the white flame. Back then, many of us had super old, rusted out cars. Mine was the 63, I think, Chevy pickup, with you could see the ground through the floorboard. And I'm, jump starting it, pushing it down the hill to get it to go up to Castleton's. And I drive by Herr Patton, just bundled up like he's going to the North Pole, walking to the bus stop. And I'm like, oh man, the life of a teacher. Don't be a teacher. Man alive, that was my lesson. Don't be a teacher. Oh, you just be poor your whole life. Oh man. Get into engineering. Kids that get into engineering are doing the right thing nowadays. And certainly don't.
They're not suffering. They're not suffering. Stop.
They're not. The engineers have to decide when they're going to take their vacations to their Palm Springs house.
I used to ride, in college, I rode the bus all the time, but it was to save good, fine Sheffield steel from the horrors of salted roads and rust.
Nice.
And so I got a girlfriend with a car, and she would pick me up and take me to school.
That's a
And
good
then
reason.
I hopped the bus down to the Crossroads Mall and then rode it over to work. And then I would bum a ride home with my dad, all to keep, my Triumph in the garage. And what you got to experience was you went down to the bus stop at the Crossroads Mall that now is probably like City Creek, somewhere in there. The bus stop's
Yeah.
probably gone. No, it's
The mall's gone.
And so there was a gentleman there who wore all white clothes, and he'd shaved, like devil's horns into his hair, and he would be walking around protesting about something.
Protesting about goodness.
And so one day I'm there at the bus stop, and here he comes, and I think he had like the words "the worm" burned into his face with his word burning set.
Oh, man.
And so one day he comes up, he's got poster board and markers, and then he is writing in red pen, he's writing, "Crossroads Mall sucks the big red worm." And then he draws a nasty picture, and right when he gets the nasty picture, boom, the police grab him.
Take him hollow off.
And the last I saw of the worm, it must have been springtime, and I stopped having to ride the bus. But the worm had climbed up onto the statue of Brigham Young that was there in the middle of the street.
Nice.
And dropped his trowel.
Total act of defiance. He knew that would change society.
Or maybe get him some warmer sleeping quarters. In those days it did. But riding the bus was, just... Ooh. Yeah, that is, if there's like, man, I don't ever want to have to ride the bus.
Yep. Yeah. We rode the bus a couple of times, and I'm thinking, I'm going to keep my car payments up because just the experience, of seeing what real life, hardship is like. It's hard. It's wow.
Doing it's but I do, everybody say like, "Oh, we'll take public transport," and every time I get on the public transport in Washington D.C. or New York, all they do is we'll talk about people getting pushed onto the subways, and and then and you get on, and there's you're with the kids, and you've just gone to the National Mall, and some idiot is getting on and just shouting profanities on the, it's like, oh yeah, this is white. Kids,
this is public transit. This is real life
business.
Make sure you don't take drugs, kids. Stay in school.
Stay in school. Just like it says
the
on your
good
milk
advertisement. Carton. Yeah. This is what teaches us all about life. So when is it in your life that tattooing the worm is not enough? You have to get someone to help you brand it in. That's a bold choice that tattoos don't quite cut it.
Yeah, in that day, it was kind of before the popularity of tattoos really took off.
Yeah, and on your face now, every famous singer is tattooed all over their face, but back then.
And a lot of not so famous singers. That are not working you never see those people working the front desk at the embassy suites.
Not yet, anyway. If everybody gets front facial tattoos, it may change. But as of right now, you do need to be a singer if you're going to have your face tattooed up. You won't. You can't get a front-facing job yet.
You can't. You can't.
One unusual but kind of fun sounding job would be astronaut until you get stuck up there for a year and your body starts to become a blobfish. Everybody was like wondering, why did the astronauts that came back, why did they look like blobfish?
Well, it's
And
from all the
so
space food sticks and Tang.
that delicious tang.
That was
Full
my
of
dream
sugar.
the other night. Was I was going up. I went up and rescued the people on the space station. I don't know why that came
Nice.
up, but and there's the girl with the hair, and there are the space food sticks and the Tang, and then we drove through some. We flew through some ice storm that was making the ship like it was almost like going through the car wash. So that is what I think outer space is like, going through the car wash.
Yeah, screw Gravity and all those other movies. It's Henry going on Space Mountain. Oh, Space Mountain. It's like Space Mountain at Disneyland.
Man, it's been a long time since I've been on Space Mountain.
Me too. Yeah, I have not been to Space Mountain. When was your first recollection of Disneyland? Did your parents go a lot when you were a kid?
No, it was. I think I went when I was about. I mean, the time I went, I think they took. Well, in reality, they probably did go a lot, especially for the time, because they went. They took my brother and sister to Disneyland, and probably I was too young to go. So it's like, when am I going to Disneyland? And so
Yeah.
I went to Disneyland and, of course, loved it. It was about 7. I still have my
Seven's
little hat that I got from Disneyland.
The adorable ones with the name stitched in the back.
I wanted the Civil War hat that had my name stitched in the back.
Nice. Good
There were lots
choice,
of kids
Henry.
wearing those around, and so I'm like, I want that. And my parents actually popped and did it.
Nice.
And then I came home and had the measles for 2 weeks.
That's how a
Don't know if I
vacation
picked them
goes.
up at Disneyland or at the hotel pool, one or the other.
Yeah, crowds. Humanity sucks.
It was a good time.
And all of your recollection of your Civil War hat was fantastic. It sounds like that's
How about
a good
you?
time.
You go to Disneyland every weekend, or did?
As a youth, I did not. A little bit like your parents, but even more so. We were dirt ass poor, so we never went.
Never went.
Yeah,
Just never went.
Never went. The first time I went was with my wife. She would be my future wife. Yeah, it was with Allison. Yeah, I had never been. So it was lovely. Yeah, everyone went to Disneyland. It was a common thing, except for Johnny and his 5 siblings that didn't have enough money for Diet Coke. So no, when I went, man, it was a big, big deal. And yeah, then we became addicts, constantly going. Allison drank the Kool-Aid and started working there, so we constantly went. Now, as an adult, was there an age where you thought, "Oh yeah, I won't take my kids. 7 years old is the right age"? Did you think that same thing?
Oh, I didn't think it like that. Just like, yeah, we're in Orlando. We're going to Disneyland. Oh, we're in California. Let's go to Disneyland. Let's go to. Did you ever go to Knott's Berry Farm?
Oh yeah, fantastic! They had the parachute drop. Do you like those drops? High spaces?
No, I like to
You,
be in control. I like to be in control of my joyride, not just like, oh.
no, no. My favorite ride is one, of course, that you can't have anymore. It's too unsafe. They just took you up in a cage and then dropped it, and I loved it. Oh man, we would go on that incessantly. They also had incredible chicken rolls and berry pie at the little restaurant at Ms. Knott's Berry restaurant. So that was also a family fave at Knott's Berry Farm. My kids love those rides.
What was invented at Knott's Berry Farm?
Well, wasn't it the boysenberry or something like that?
Right, you are, Johnny.
Is it? Was that right? The boysenberry?
Yes. I'm like, oh, these aren't naturally occurring.
I guess I never even thought about it. I mean,
They grow on
you know what I
trees,
mean?
not in a lab.
Yeah. I love that genetic stuff. I love the cross pollination of stuff and and we constantly talk about we are obviously obsessed with genetics, breeding with dinosaurs, because it comes up every other podcast. Getting the mosquito DNA that bit the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And now that they're doing all that, it makes me laugh whenever I think about it, because you and I talk about it constantly. Well, one thing that they noticed about the astronauts is that kind of every science fiction novel talks about getting to Mars, but what they've realized is humans wouldn't be able to survive. The one organ that wouldn't make it to a trip to Mars would be your kidney. Any idea why the kidney would be the one that they exclude?
I haven't a clue, Johnny.
Yeah, and I don't either. I don't know enough about.
Oh, I thought you had the answer to this question.
I bring
Kidneys
stuff.
won't make it to Mars.
Yeah, they said
9 months to get. How long does it take to get to Mars? If I'm on a cruise ship and it has a day at sea, by about 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to go freaking nuts if I don't get off this boat, let alone being in the space station for 9 months. I mean, I've been over here, I've been over there, I've been over here, I've been over there. Oh, this person that I'm trapped up here with is driving me freaking nuts.
I've got Joe the engineer who makes me crazy.
Keeps talking about old episodes of The Twilight Zone.
Well,
it's actually morphing into one of those pink people.
Oh, that find 3 or 4 people that you want to live in a tiny house for 5 or 6 years, and that's the group you're going to go to Mars with. I don't think so.
When you get to Mars, it's like, is there a casino?
There's not. The day at sea on the gigantic ship where you look at, oh, that's a lovely stairway. Oh, what a lovely piece of art they've put in this foyer. Once you've done that, took the photo, there's nothing else to do.
To Mars, and it's like, hey, I don't think they're heating the pool.
Or it's really hot. Really hot. Yeah, they keep saying they found evidence of water on Mars, the photos. Oh, this is evidence.
It was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
In 2005, they said, oh, we found water on Mars. April Fools. You NASA people are so funny.
Oh, scientists. They're so known for their hijinks and pranks. They're fantastic. I love those guys.
Had any April Fool's pranks pulled on you?
I have not. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I hate April Fool's pranks on me. I do not like. Do you like surprises?
Yeah.
You do?
I enjoy a good prank.
When you're the one getting pranked?
Sure. Just
You do.
means they love you.
Oh, that's what you. Oh, because you
Unless
were
it's like,
unloved by your parents.
Vaseline on the toilet seat or putting the saran wrap over it the middle of the night.
Oh,
Those kinds of pranks aren't funny.
Now I know what Johnny was talking about.
All the other ones are good.
Okay. Well, I'll go with that.
All right.
I do not like a surprise. I do not like any pranks involved. I don't even, it's hard for me to watch prank shows because I'm like this. Oh, this is horrible. I loved them when I was little. Remember Candid Camera?
Yeah.
The guy was famous. Like I think it was Sunday nights. You're on camera cam. The guy Alan Funk, and then his son continued the tradition of the thing. Trouble is, I noticed as I got older, it all basically ended up being pornography. Everything after he got old and people got sick of it and the show got canceled, it all became videos of what do you say to a naked lady? So yeah, he needed to add a little flesh for ratings.
Yes, I've got to go back and check my subscriptions.
Yeah, those you needed a little skin to get the kids to watch after 7 or 8 years. It wasn't quite a.
It's like the Candid Camera from other countries where they like run up to someone on the street and hand them a live grenade. It's like, oh. Here, could you hold this? Could you hold this pressure cooker full of nails?
I love it. Yeah, the Japanese game show style stuff is it's so prevalent that Chris Farley did the Saturday Night Live skit about it. I do not know what you're saying. Oh, it was hilarious.
It was Most Extreme Elimination. That was a good show. Watched a lot of that. It's funny the stuff that I ended up watching.
You liked a lot of action. You're a race car driver. You're an adrenaline junkie. Well, if they asked you to go to Mars, Henry, if they asked you to go to Mars and your kidney goes down, I will give you my kidney.
Thanks.
Well, give is strong.
I'll next day it up there to me.
I'll sell you for a little scratch. I'll lease you my kidney.
It'll be on the law, Johnny. You have to donate your organs.
Well, I will donate it on a subscription basis. That's how the big boys make the cash. So when you need it, is what.
If I miss a payment, you turn it off like the seats in my BMW.
Do your rear seats also warm and cool in the Beamer?
I do not have a Beamer. I'm not a BMW guy.
I do not have a Beamer. The only Beamer I had, a brand new X3, it was in the shop every week for electrical issues, and I never looked back. I never bought another Beamer. Oh my gosh. Hopefully they fixed their electrical problems because I would never own one again. It was such a nightmare. And they fixed it every week, but it'd break every 2 weeks, Henry. It was a terrible car.
Once the British guys got out of the European car market, the Germans became the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, when I got into that barrel, it must have been at the bottom because it was not quality and it drove me nuts. It might have be actually the worst car we ever had because it was in the shop so much.
Chris said, I have a truck, and yes, it does have heated seats in the back, and every imaginable camera.
Nice.
And that's Chris said that, she says, I said, should I get like a Tahoe or a Denali or something like
We've
that?
had one.
And she said, Henry, I really wish you were that guy. But you need a truck because you're always hauling something stinky.
Yeah.
And I said, you're right. There is always about 10 gas cans in the bed or an old transmission or differential that needs to be
the oil,
not gassing out the riders.
the living space.
Yeah. So, but
don't
that's
poop where you sleep. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. I would say that's true of me too, even though I don't, mulch and, plants and a new tree. That's kind of mainly what I drag around. The don't poop where you sleep. I am going to tell you that sage old advice. My puppy does not know that rule. My little puppy, my puppy disregards that rule every other night. So
are you rolling up and finding little Tootsie Rolls near you?
Oh my goodness, Henry, it has been 2 weeks of nothing but using a mop. My house is just a cesspool that is used for a toilet. Yeah, this puppy is adorable, but holy smokes, this puppy poops and pees. I forgot what it was like having an infant.
You like to keep the constant chain of dogs, because what is the old dog teaches the new dog the rules. Here's where we go. You don't want to get whacked with the newspaper? Follow me. I'll show you the ropes around here.
Out the door. Yes, that is true. And we broke the chain.
Yes. The Duke is in the constant state of protest where if he is marking spots, like, don't cross this line. See this yellow line right here? This is where my territory starts.
This is the Duke right here.
The Duke.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
And it's hard to break him of that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have terrazzo floors, which cleanup's easy.
Make it easy.
Quick and easy.
Yeah, we had carpet and our dogs did us in, so we redid those floors. It's delightful to know just how much it will cost you to fix, to do all the floors, and your house will sound like a Europe in the 40s, because they literally I was in the basement and the stuff was falling on my head as they pulled up the old flooring. I did not realize it would be like a bomb shelter, just bam, bam, bam. Everything was covered. And it'll set you back 10 grand for just plain old boring flooring. No problem.
10 grand is just like, what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Go eat in a yurt, and it's, how much was dinner?
There was a company, my sister had some water damage, and the company Restoration came in, some fancy name with the word restoration in it. And they came in, and so for $3 grand, she thought, they'd go in and help them, put up the plywood and kind of fix all the edging on the basement. All they did was go in and take the stuff to the dump. So for $3 grand, so she should have read the fine print, and boy, is that a slick way of running a business, because if you have something in your name like New Car Johnny, you figure there's going to be a new car in there somewhere. And instead, I should call it, I'll just sweep stuff up, Johnny.
Oh, I would call it a new air freshener, Johnny.
Oh, that's so
Come and
funny.
replace that one right on the mirror for you. It's only cost you
This is
$1,000. It's called a detailing.
detailing, Johnny, is brand new pine tree. Enjoy.
What's your favorite Febreze flavor?
There are a lot now. Febreze, it attacks the molecules. It doesn't hide it. Henry, it envelops.
We have these new devices around our house that I think every time I walk past it and fart, it releases an antidote of orange citrus that envelops any noxious odor and
It senses the hind.
takes it down to the ground.
I think I smell the hiney man and his hiney.
The shower is in his future.
Yeah, the AI in it. Future shower, immediate need. My brother and his wife stayed over for a relaxing, chillaxing weekend, and he goes, "There's an electrical short in the bedroom somewhere. All I do is hear once in a while a crackling of like a light switch shorting out." I said, "Oh, I think it's the hiney man spritz, and that's the sound. That's the hiney antidote. I'll turn it off for you. It's sense that you stink."
It's releasing a little stank party. Making sure you stank party.
Speaking of sleeping, have you gotten your earthing sheets yet? Earthing sheets.
Earthing?
Yeah.
No, please do. Please tell. What's the thread count on these?
Well, it's mostly the voltage. These earthing sheets, Henry, you know when you walk in bare feet on the gorgeous spring green grass and it's called grounding? That's a new thing. When you have any issue, the herbal hippies think that you just need to go out and walk in the grass to get some grounding with Mother Earth. Well, now, not only is it free, where you just walk in the grass, now they will sell you electromagnetic sheets so that you can ground with Mother Earth while you sleep. Ah, I smell money.
It's like that light show when you're taking the old blanket and you pull it off and all the static's going in the middle of the night. What about that? That's like grounding immediately.
That's the cheaper version of that.
Grounding sheets.
Electromagnetics, the sensation you get from grounding, you can now get at night when the electromagnetic. So I know you sell magnets, so I believe you should start selling magnet sheets, industrial magnet sheets that can lift a car, but can also keep people's hippie inner selves right on tune.
I think I'm just going to move, my bed in the house a little closer over to that transformer that's out on the power pole and see if I can soak up my EMFs that way.
Yeah. See if you can grow that lump on the side of your head.
I always feel a little better when the neighbors flip on all their air conditioners.
When the Christmas vacation voltage gets flipped at the neighbor's house, they kick on the nuclear.
Yeah, it melts my driveway.
So, do you believe in this grounding thing where you walk in the grass that it can cure your cancer, Henry?
I would seek professional help first.
Yeah,
maybe at the
that would be me.
Cancer Center, not just go out and roll around with the worms and grubs.
Yeah, a friend of ours needed to hug a tree more often and go ground once they got the cancer diagnosis. And I thought, rather than walking to the tree in that green grass, why don't you walk to the oncologists? Because they might cure you. They don't Bob Marley your melanoma cancer. Don't go to a doctor. Don't just
like somebody that weed didn't work for. It's like, maybe smoking a lot of weed doesn't cure your cancer.
No. There are a whole bunch of benefits, but one of them isn't cancer cures. Sorry, Bob.
What the benefits are maybe getting high.
Taking the week off.
I go with the Journal of the American Medical Association on this one.
Yeah, they're the more now that they're, I mean, literally everybody smokes weed. Now that there are that many, then it's the studies are prevalent, and because it's so potent, the studies are pretty well all in one area. It's not going to help you. It's not
Denver this week, and we went and called on it. We're now starting to hey, if they're going to be growing weed, maybe they need some conveyors to move the weed around and package it, because they're doing all of that. It's it's like a new candy factory, only we're making gummies, and you go in the place, and there's all this tight security. I guess everybody's in there trying to rip off the weed. Everybody who works there is got one of those stocking caps on and kind of buzzed.
Yeah. Contact high, even if
contact high. We get back in the car. It's like, man, do you rig? Where's the Febreze? We've got to get the Febreze, and not the hemp flavored one.
hemp odor smelling.
Wild cherry or something. Come on.
Yeah. Give us the citrus swips.
And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And they have the most creative names. My favorite that we saw was Starbuds. I'm going over to Starbuds. Get it, bud?
Buds. That is creative.
People who are stoned think they're so funny.
Yeah.
It's like it takes this humor to a new low level.
So, speaking of taking medications legally and illegally, has anybody in your family needed to get sleep aids? Like they cannot sleep? Has anybody had to actually get Ambien and use it?
Well, not the ones that I know of. I don't, I think when people get sick, the sky's the limit on what they're taking to do whatever it is. So, but I don't know anybody I don't know, they wouldn't tell me if they're taking sleep aids. How about you? You on it? You hooked on anything?
I have not, once I started using the sauna, I don't have any trouble sleeping at all. I think that sauna experience on the body really, really gets you in that low hum mood that maybe the hemp does as well. Because I've had absolutely no trouble sleeping now that I've got a sauna in the house. I guess the same experience for my brother. So we got him hooked on the sauna, and he says the same benefit. Really easy to get to sleep. One thing very unusual about the Ambien is the wild stories about not waking up. I mean, people literally, like the comedian Birbiglia, walked through a glass window on a 2-story hotel at the Radisson and fell through. Yeah, didn't wake up. Just cut, all the things that happen when you walk through a plate glass window. Yeah, never even woke up for the incident. It's so so powerful. And it is, you say a lot of really hilarious things when you're on very hilarious things on Ambien. It is extremely funny. The stories are hilarious. It is good times. I guess it really lets down the inhibitions for the goofiness. So I'm glad I don't. Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I have trouble waking up already. That's,
Yeah.
it'd be, if I didn't have a dog chewing on my ear or something, I'd probably sleep right through.
The puppies help us get up.
The constant roar of those little devices around my room releasing the Febreze. Danger, run, Will Robinson, run. Oh, I've got to get up. I've been in bed so long, I'm starting to set off the stink alarms.
Eau de la Henry is potent, obviously. I'm getting the Heine bombs. I love it.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, I mean, you're not addicted to alcohol.
Not yet.
Which, not yet. I
still
could
got
make you
time.
one of my Manhattans that might change your mind, but that does not help you sleep. That is a myth.
Is
That's
that right?
a sleep aid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that makes you sleep less.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Interesting.
I guess a lot of people now are swearing off alcohol. Maybe
there's something called Cali Sober. Cali Sober is no alcohol, but do all the drugs you can.
It's
It's
a good new one. I love it.
I love that. I love new California ideas because they're all stupid. Sober is not pounding weed. I don't care if you put Philadelphia sober. I don't care if you say that.
Sober.
Yeah.
I've sworn off alcohol and replaced it with French dip sandwiches with cheese on.
Yes. Anything for me, I guess mine would be Wisconsin. I'm Wisconsin sober. I sworn off alcohol, but now I do nothing but cheese. I just eat cheese. Cheese curds. Deep fried curds.
What's the
all
place?
the time.
What's the restaurant? We got one now. There's one in Salt Lake. What's the name of that place?
Nothing but cheese.
Somebody from Wisconsin would. No, it's a drive-in. You get a hamburger and cheese curds.
Oh, Culver's.
Culver's. There you go.
Culver's. They don't have it
in.
Yeah, they don't have it in Virginia. I guess we're too healthy, but Florida, they're all over Florida.
Culver's went there.
Culver's is in Florida. Every single off ramp in Florida has Culver's, and I love anything cheesy. I'm totally in. I'm at. Amen. Check cheese curds. Love them.
Cheesy guy.
Yeah, I'm a cheese enthusiast. Nowadays, it's a little weird, but expensive cheese is so delicious that, like, I could leave the marinara sauce off the spaghetti and just get like 3 different cheeses, like, at not Cheesecake Factory, but Spaghetti Factory has a Mazithra cheese. It's a hard cheese, and I guess the famous writer just had fried spaghetti noodles and cheese and that was their spaghetti. And man, the older I get, the more I love that.
Have you had any Morbier?
No, tell me about Morbier.
That's the cheese that they take and they smoke it in ash, And so it gets an ash layer on the outside. Then they cut it in half and lay it back together so that ash layer is in the middle of the cheese. So it's got this kind of white and this little gray stripe through it. And I'm thinking you could do the same thing in Colorado and smoke it in weed ash. And then you would have this little micro layer stripe of weed that would really pack an awesome buzz.
That's a great place to hide your weed, in that cheese.
Yeah. You watch now. Somebody's going to grab the podcast and go, that's a good idea. I like that right there.
Juiced up weed, delicious cheese curd. I'm going to try some Morbius. That's it, Henry. We'll see you next week, brother. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Checking In with Hein and Johnny. You can follow all things Hein and Johnny by subscribing to Checking In with Hein and Johnny anywhere you listen to podcasts. Checking In with Heine and Johnny is sponsored by Conveyors and Equipment. They supply, design, and service all types of conveyors, belting, and material handling equipment since 1972. With 3 locations to serve you, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, find them on the web at conveyequip.com. That's CONVEYEQUIP.com.